All right. Greetings, people of the internet. I come to you bearing gifts of I want to do a short lesson today on what are commonly known as chord scales. With lots of reverb, right? Okay. Now, these are very important. And then, what are they? Well, perhaps you're familiar with the C major scale, right? We could play. I'm going to bring that reverb down just a touch. Right, we could play a C major like that. Right. We could play it on one string. Right. We can play it all over the place, okay? Now, I would assume if you're a guitar player and you're watching this and you are interested in learning about this, you know what a C chord is, this common voicing of the C chord here, right? And if I really want to make it bigger, I can have my pinky take where the ring finger is and have the ring finger get the third fret of the E string, and you'll just have to pretend this string doesn't exist unless you have a 7-string guitar, but we're going to pretend it doesn't exist. And there I've got C major. But did you know that inside of this voicing, there are actually many iterations of C major? On the top 3 strings, that's a C major chord. I've got C, E, and G. That's all you need for a C major. On the next set of 3 strings, also a C major chord. I've got E, G, and C. On the next set of strings, also C major. I've got C, E, and G. And even on this next set of strings, I've got G, C, and E. Each one of those stands alone as a C major triad, but it can be very lovely to compound them and get a full sound. You get a fuller sound. But it can also be very beautiful to pick out the just the essentials of the chord and use that instead of, sometimes we don't need to wash over everybody with the full chord. We might just want to just the essentials of it, and that gets the point across. Now, a very useful practice if you're not familiar with this, right? We'll take that shape of the C chord and we're gonna go string set by string set, each string set of 3 strings, right? So we're starting on the G, B, and E string, and I'm just gonna play that part of the chord, the open G, 1st fret C, and the open E. Now that's a C chord, okay? And if you haven't done this, I want you to try just playing the C major scale, which are the natural notes, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, on the B string, right? So that's, I'll say the frets first. 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and back down. So what a chord scale is doing that same thing, but bringing along the chord that corresponds with each note of the scale. So obviously for C, it would be C major. For D, it would be D minor, right? And if you're familiar with open-shaped chords, these won't be a problem, right? C, D minor. Usually when we play D minor, though, we're playing the D string as well. In this instant, we're only doing the top 3 strings. So C major, D minor. Next would be E, and the harmony that corresponds with this E is an E minor. If you did not know that, I'll address it another time, right? But next, so we've got C major, D minor, E minor. Next would be F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and C major. And you'll notice when you get to this C major an octave higher, it's the same voicing as this C major, The same, yeah, it's the same voicing. G, C, E, G, C, E, but an octave higher. How about descending? C, B diminished, A minor, G, F, E, D, C. What about making it kind of cool? Put in a finger pattern. Trying to find a degree of fluency in moving up these patterns. Now, once that's comfortable, why don't we try the next string set, right? So that would be, check it out, we're taking this high E and we're bringing it down an octave. So now we're on the B, G, and D string. First fret, open, second fret. And there's C major, right? Can you decipher what D minor would look like? How about E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C major. Coming down, B diminished, A minor, G major, F, E minor, D minor, C. Now notice this has all been building off that C major scale on the B string. Every one of these chords has those notes in it from this string, right? We did the top 3 strings, now we did the next 3, and now let's move on to the D string, the the A string, the D string, and the G string. Think of your regular open C shape, but we're only playing here, here, and the open G. Now these shapes may be a bit unfamiliar, but we should try them, right? So I've got C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C major. Coming down, B diminished, A minor, G, F, E minor, D minor, and C. Okay? Now, last but not least, or at least last on a 6-string guitar, would be this shape, right? So we're going to take the open G and bring that down an octave. So I've got my ring finger on the 3rd fret of E, my pinky on the 3rd fret of A, and my middle finger on the 2nd fret of D, and that's C major, right? Right? And let's backstep one moment here. Can you play C major, the scale, on one string on the A string? C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Right? I'll name the frets. It's 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 15, 14, 12, 10, 8, 7, 5, 3. What about the octaves, right? We did the scale here. We did it here. Can we do that together? Right, in the right hand I'm plucking just these 2 strings, the B string and the A string. Okay, so back to this chord we were looking at with our ring finger on the 3rd fret of E, our pinky on the 3rd fret of A, and our middle finger on the 2nd fret of D, and let's hear fantastic, right? Now dig this, we've got C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G, A minor, B diminished, the black sheep of the family, and C major, B diminished, A minor, G, F, E minor, D minor, C, right? So we took this initial big C chord, then we broke it up into 3-string chunks, and we took those that layout of the harmony, right? And we moved it up the scale, right? Because the first note of a major scale corresponds with a major chord. The second note of a major scale corresponds with a minor chord. The third note with a minor chord. The fourth note with a major. The fifth with a major. The sixth with a minor. The seventh with a diminished. And the octave, of course, back to the major, right? And if you want to get real about guitar, but you aren't familiar with that, you should get familiar with it. You should spend some time committing to memory the natural harmonic layout of the major scale, the chords that come out of the major scale and that we use every day, all day long, okay? Now, here we're taking a chord scale, we're going up and down the string set, but another thing you might want to try is to for instance, take this C chord, and then practice moving it this way as opposed to up and down, moving just the single chord this way. So for instance, I'll do the top 3 strings, the next 3, the next 3, the next 3, and in my case I've got a low B. Do it down there too. And I could keep going if you want, right? All C chords. Where are you? All inversions of C, or different way, inversions, different ways of playing the notes in the C major chord. So we did it with C, moving across, back across, and then how about doing that with D minor, right? So top 3 strings, next 3, next 3, next 3, come back, E minor, going back, here comes F major, how about G major, A minor, B diminished, here's the odd, the black sheep, and we're back at C major. Excuse me. So there, we're sort of running the chord scale on every string set, not at the same time, but we're getting that orientation of both thinking up and down the neck as well as across the neck simultaneously, right? Now, what if you did this? What if you started on this iteration of C, and then you went to the D minor on the next string set down, and then you went to the E minor on the next string set down, and then you went to the F major on the next string set down. Oh, is that right? Yeah, there it is. And I'm running up. I'll keep it 6 string, so I'm going to go to G now on the next string set up. Can I do that? Why am I lost? F and oh no, where are you? That's too bad. I should know that. C, D minor, D minor, E minor, F, G. There it is. A minor, B diminished, C. Now that's more of a cerebral exercise, but useful. I mean, you want to be able to map this thing, right? So, if this is completely new material, initially you just want to be able to play that major scale up 1 string and then add the triads, right? One more time. Back down. And then on every string set, right? So etc., etc. Every string set we should give our attention, get used to the shape of triads on every string set. Now, these triads are called closed voicings, meaning the notes are as close together as possible. I'm not jumping any octaves, right? If I were to do a chord scale and have wider intervals, right? Say I had a C and then I did E here and G here. So now I've got my C on the A string, my E is on the B, and my G is on the E string, and that's going to give me some, some different sounds. Right? But the voicing isn't closed anymore. It's an open voicing, I suppose you could say. The voicings are wider apart. Now, this might be opening some windows as far as, how many ways can you do this? You can do this a lot of ways. You can, whatever voicing you can muster, you can try moving it up diatonically up and down the neck, meaning you're taking a harmonic outlay and you're moving it up the neck. Now, for instance, if I did this C and I kept those 4 strings, the minor chords get pretty ridiculous, right? They're doable, but then not for the faint of heart. And then diminished, right? So start with just triads, okay? Or we'll start with just the scale. This has to be clean. And then start building the triads off it. Oh, excuse me. And what will this do? This will, you're getting comfortable with the neck, and you're also integrating harmonic knowledge. You're integrating, the order of triads in the harmonic, or in the major scale, how they sound together, and then you're doing it on every string set. So you're taking these essential details of a chord. Remember, everyone knows this C chord, but do you know that there's, how many C chords in there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. It's 4 C chords in there. 5 if you got a low B string. And so we're zooming in, so to speak. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say on this. More lessons to come. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. I will happily respond to any questions or comments. Keep on practicing. Keep on rocking. Remember, rock and roll. Bye-bye.